While many of his colleagues have created brands built on politically free agendas, Bill Maher has immersed himself deeply in this controversial world. He's often in the limelight for his commentary, which feeds off political debates and controversy. Maher considers himself a truth-teller who does not align with any ideology or party. One of the things Maher is passionate about is demolishing the woke mentality, and he shocked Whoopi Goldberg by trashing wokeness on The View. Maher's appearance on the show was mostly to discuss his new book, What This Comedian Said Will Shock You. After the pleasantries, the conversation began, and Maher did not hesitate to share his opinion on the woke mentality. This question is asked by Sunny Hostin, who wants more clarification on what Maher meant.
The term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything, and I know that you're
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
Bill corrects Sunny, explaining that he meant that the woke mentality was what would get Trump reelected. As Sunny starts asking her questions, the direction in which she's headed becomes clear.
I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social.
As expected, woke is a word that triggers a lot of controversy due to its origin and its interpretation in the current society. It is therefore understandable that Sunny raises some concerns regarding Maher's intentions.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate.
Sunny wants to know why being woke is such a bad thing. Maher then suggests using another word for the fear of triggering something that was not intended. See, Maher is right to some extent. Initially, the Black community rallied against the social discrimination and racial prejudice that was happening to them. They used the term woke as a call for alertness. But in the 2010s, being woke took on a new meaning. It started representing other social inequities like LGBT rights denial. This is where Maher has a problem, as he explains that words migrate. While the original goal was great, the new meaning and interpretation might be the reason why Trump gets reelected. Despite this being a passionate topic, Maher chooses to remain respectful.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know.
Maher goes on to criticize the term woke, saying it's a negative label for progressive policies. He makes a joke that doesn't quite land right, but its message is understood.
But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a joke. But,
Maher feels that the left's views have taken a negative turn, and this is all attributed to being woke.
I mean, you know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Maher was not the only one who felt disgusted by this. Many organizations all over the U.S. claiming to be woke were seen saying everything else except condemning Hamas. This is being seen as hypocrisy, since these woke organizations have created an image of public condemnation. By keeping quiet, it shows how misguided people who think of themselves as crusaders of justice truly are. And Maher is determined to prove his point. The show goes on with Alyssa mentioning a few things in support of Maher's statement.
Terrorist flags being waved on American college campuses.
What Alyssa is talking about references the anti-Israel demonstrations that were happening on many college campuses. She voices concerns that the present generation might be one that supports terrorist operations. Alyssa understands that there is a genuine concern for the plight of the Palestinians all over the country, but there is another negative impact brought along by this. She wants to know Maher's opinion on this.
And what do you think it's a result of? How do we fix it?
As Maher gets ready to answer Alyssa's question, he expresses his shock at people's choices.
I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally.
He goes on to explain what the reality of living in Gaza is, especially for women. He jokes that if someone lived in Gaza for a day, they would be begging to be taken to Tel Aviv. Maher explains that in Gaza and other Muslim countries in the world, women are treated like second-class citizens.
There is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
He's not trying to campaign for women's rights. He's just telling the truth about the reality of the country that the woke are refusing to speak against. Another question is raised regarding the issue on topic by Sunny.
Are you at all concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women?
Sunny continues to ask Maher what his views are on the subpoena issued by the ICC for Mr. Netanyahu. This is another area that has sparked many debates all over the world. But for now, Sunny wants to know what Maher thinks can be done to end all this violence. And as expected, Maher has an answer.
It's a war. Because it's a war and they were attacked and they're defending themselves. Now, this is a war. Do you think Hamas needs to be destroyed? This is the question.
Maher goes on a rant explaining why Hamas is a terrorist organization. He also supports that Hamas should be destroyed. But then, how can that happen? The answer is simple.
Here's a way to stop that. Stop attacking Israel.
He then explains why he thinks that the woke-minded people might re-elect Trump.
Trump as a comedian, they see him as a clown who says crazy things.
They saw Hitler like that.
Right, okay, but that doesn't mean, you can hate Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It is half.
Whoopi Goldberg then asked a question regarding the country's current news reporting. She finds that sometimes news about certain things seems to have a view that is directed at showing people just one side of things instead of giving them a chance for a conversation. For Maher, he knows that the news he's receiving is not false. It just shows half of the actual story. This means that he has to dig in and find the entire story, something he finds tedious. Maher then explains that there needs to be a word that can replace woke, seeing as woke in itself can be triggering. He gives an example of how fast things are changing and criticizes the negative impact of these changes. He mentions that during comic relief, the comedians had come up with the name homeless for the people living in the streets, replacing the words hobos and vagabond. Now, Maher is gently reminded about the new name for the homeless, which is the unhoused. Maher now shows the difference between old liberal and the new liberal woke thinking. Maher explains that the view of the woke is completely different. As the conversation comes to a wrap, Joy shares some views regarding Goldberg's remarks on One View news reports. Do you agree with Maher that the term woke has migrated and brought along negative effects to society? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you thought Bill Maher was extremely outspoken in this video, check out this other video where Maher's audience turns on him. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.